Good morning, boys and girls. Today I'm going over the word problem of the day for Monday, April 13th. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and read it, and then I'll go ahead and work on an answer sentence. Derek ran 3/8 of a race before he had to stop for a break. If the race is 6 miles long, how much further did he have to run after he stopped for a break? First thing I want to do now is, after I've read it, let's take a look at an answer sentence. So I might use Derek, and it looks like I'm talking about a race. He stopped for a break, and then he had to run a little bit more. And then, so the question is, oh, I made a little typo here. Should be saying, I'm going to look at that. That really should have said, how much further does he need to run? So if you notice that typo, good job. I read it first and I just sort of read right over it, but it should be, how much further did he have to run after he stopped for a break? That makes it a little bit easier to understand. I'm going to say that Derek had to run blank miles further. Keywords in this are going to be further, run, miles, Derek, or he. Either one is okay. Just make sure that you have some of these keywords in there in your answer sentence. Once I've got my answer sentence ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and work on my model. And I'm looking at this one. I think this would be great for a unit bar because it's showing miles, and I can show that in a unit bar. And I think I'll be calling it Derek's Race Miles. I'll put my starting line. Make sure, boys and girls, you do the same thing. I'm going to put Derek's Race Miles. Since there's only one Derek and only one group of race miles, I only need one unit bar. And I'm going to go ahead and put that right here, nice and as straight as I can. And make sure that you're drawing it neatly so it's easy for you to check it when we check it tomorrow. Now I've got my unit bar ready to go. I'm going to look at my first sentence. Derek ran 3/8 of a race before he had to stop for a break. So the first thing I want to look at here is I see that fraction, so I'm going to need to turn, I think I'm going to take this race miles and divide it up into 8 parts. One, let's see, I'll put it in half right here so it's a little bit easier. So I can divide this into 4 parts, divide this into 4 parts. Let me make sure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have it in 8 parts. And it looks like here it says 3/8 of a race before I had to stop for a break. So I'll put here that 3/8, and he stopped at, so this is what he stopped at. He ran all the way up to here and he said, I need a break right now. And then he stopped. So I'm going to mark that in there, those 3/8. So I'm going to just go ahead and I will put, let me go ahead and add in, cross that out because I like to just make sure I did everything. He stopped for a break, wrote that in, did the 3/8, added Derek in there. So I'm good for that sentence. And there's still some more words, so I want to go ahead and read those. The next words it says is if the race is 6 miles long. Now that 6 miles is not some of the race, that's all the race. And because it's all the race, boys and girls, I'm going to put it at the end. And I'll just put 6 miles total because this race is 6 miles long. Make sure you guys can see that. I'll zoom in a little bit. I'm going to cross out the 6 miles and the race because we're done with it. Now I still have a few more words left. It says how much further did he have to run after he stopped for a break? I see that question mark there, so I want to be able to put the question mark somewhere here. So it looks like he stopped right here, and this kind of stopped early in the race for his break, but that's okay. He's got a little bit more, a lot more to go, which I'm putting a bracket right here. Now what I can do is I could say, because this is 3/8, the rest of this was going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 5/8 left to go. So he's got 3/8 that he stopped at. Now he's done with this. So I could say here, this is the done, and this is what he's got left to go. So our question mark is what actually is going to be going inside the 5/8? What is the total amount? So what I could do is I could bracket this here and say that's my question mark. I need to know that distance. Question mark miles. So now that I've got my question mark in there, I'm going to go ahead and close it off. Cross it out. Now my expression, I could do it a couple ways, but the way I'm going to choose it is I'm looking here and I really want to know this 5/8. What is 5/8 of 6 miles? That'll get me my question mark here for the number of miles. When I hear that word of, when I say it out loud like that, 5/8 of 6 miles, I'm going to go ahead and just do a set up an expression. 5/8 and of, which is multiply. So I can put a multiplication there. 5/8 of, or 5/8 times 6. 5/8 of 6 is the same thing as saying 5/8 times 6. And that's going to give me my question mark right here. Now I'm ready to solve it. I've got my expression. So I'm going to go over my solving section. And I'm multiplying a fraction, 5/8. Don't need to change that. I do need to change my 6 to a fraction, and an improper fraction at that. So it'll become 6/1. When I multiply this out, I'll take the 5 times 6 and get 30. 8 times 1 is 8, and I get 30/8 miles. I don't really like improper fractions because it's really hard they're improper. They're difficult to understand. So we want to simplify that down into a mixed number. So I'll start by doing that. I'll go over here. I'll take 8 or 30 and divide it by 8. I'll take the numerator and divide it by the denominator. So 8 times 4, no, that's 32. That's too big. 8 times 3 is 24. 30 minus 24 equals 6. So that's my remainder, and that becomes my fraction numerator. So my question mark is going to equal that he has 3 and, well, let's see, 3 and 6/8 miles to go. I'm looking at that fraction now, and I'm thinking to myself, I could probably simplify that down a little bit, and I can. Since they're both even numbers, I know for sure at least I can go to 2, divide it both by 2. So it becomes 3 and 3/4. So now my question mark is going to equal 3 and 3/4 miles. And I can't simplify that 3/4 any further. So now I'm ready to write that into my answer sentence. Derek had to run 3 and 3/4 miles further. Boys and girls, make sure you save this word problem of the day, because if you've corrected it and you have fixed all your mistakes with it, you'll be ready for our Friday word problem of the day test, where one of these word problems we're going over is going to be changed a little bit, but it'll be basically the same and will be included on the Friday test. Thanks, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.